G'day and welcome to another video. I'm just putting in the last corner of my monorail. I'll have to build stairs up to that run there. But to get a good corner, if you're working on this sort of stuff with the monorail, if you pull out the maximum square that you can draw, then what you can do is come in one step and then cut out the shape of the corner. So in my case it goes 4, 3, 2, and then 1. So if you come in from the other corner with the same pattern, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. And then all you got to do is match the last diagonal by pulling out a brick, chops out the corner, recycle this part back in your inventory, and then you've got the edge of the corner that's actually quite good. And then what you can do is just cut out the unnecessary bricks. Do it one row at a time, just so you can be quite careful about making sure you're in the right block before you do your cut, because you need to make sure you got that staggered number of blocks available. So down here, go this way, just because it takes out more bricks in one go. And there we have it, fairly nice rounded corner. It looks pretty good and it works really good with my particular monorail. I'll jump on, give the corner a test drive while we're here. It's just got controllers to drive it forward, and there we go, we got caught up because I forgot to remove the post that I was using for a reference. So I'll quickly just repair that. I've got a reference point on my drone car. Eventually this will be fully automated as a drone. So I forgot to remove this post here, which was we were using to line up our corner. So I'll remove that block at the back. So back to tidy rail, and we'll give that a test drive again. Oh, it's just gone dark. Sorry for that. And there we go. Nice controlled. Park up the car again, ready for the test drive. So now I'm going to build stairs all the way up to the upper rail. So this is the last stretch of monorail. Is actually just building those stairs. Because of the height, what I've also done is I've actually built a temporary stair that I use to get up and do my maintenance with. So it's just a number of blocks set up for so I can jump up the height I need. And this next part's going to take a lot of blocks to get it up. So what I do in this case is I actually draw a big square. I'm going to slice a few bricks off this to then work out how to reach that rail. So you can see there we've got a lot of steps, but that's going to be too steep an angle, so I'm going to need to add some more stair blocks along the rail. Now it's using a lot of blocks to do what we're going to do, but it makes it a lot easier to get your functionality of your slopes right. So it depends on what slope you choose. I could sit there going 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 all the way up, but that is quite arduous, and it's hard to do because you've got to be on top. Whereas from this one, I can do my cutout down low without needing to get right up on top of this piece of brickwork. You can see there I'm just chopping away quite easy. I find that faster and easier than laying the stones in. We do have to do the pattern twice, one on the top, one on the bottom, but you can see it's pretty quick and easy to do it. So 222 is going to be my pattern for this particular rise. You can see there what I was talking about with the framework and the slope being incorrect. So if I cut this last piece and run a slice up there. I broke my rail. Oh, I gotta weld it back up. Oh no, I don't. Haha, I'm trying to stare up to there. So where are we still connected? Oh no, it did fall down. You can see we got the crack there. And then we can do the same thing to chop out the bottom part. Oh, don't do that one. Go start there. And there we go. We're getting a pretty good stare. So that's just two options. And now you can see if I'm using my lift to get across, your reach that you've got available while you're placing bricks is reduced. And I'm using the different blocks to create a scaffold to assist with what we're trying to do. And just so the idea of bringing what you need down. The other option for doing this is you can do it on your lift. So that pattern we've got is making 2, so we need 3 blocks across. So if we do 3 and we do it this way, even though up there it's in a different layout, when you use your weld tool, you can rotate it as you go. Now you can see here, doing it this way, I'm having a lot of trouble with the orientation of what I'm trying to do. So it's just a matter of choose your style and see what works for you. So doing it this way, I've got a pretty good pattern going. Oops, one more. But to weld it up there, I've got to get right up there to do it. So that's what my assist is. So I move forward of where I've got to weld, so I can reach back and do it. I'll just do a quick clean up with this. You can see that doing a cleanup is pretty easy, pretty quick, versus what we're doing. So it's just a whole matter of what are we going to do. So that pattern up there needs to weld on that. So I'm going to weld on the end of it. And I've got to remember to rotate it. And then we've got the question of, are we going to crush into the bar above with our weld? No, oh, welded it the wrong way. So exactly what I was telling you guys I had to make sure I didn't do, I did it. So put the block back on. Get the welder ready. Get back up there. Chaos. So I need to rotate it on that one. Wrong key. That's down. You want to be up. There we go. And we are so close to that top rail. Now you can see that top rail is so far up, and I was talking about the need to get up on top to be able to add the brick. So to try and just add 3 or 4 rows on top of that, I've got to get myself about here, lift myself up. You see that we're, oh no, we are high enough. This might just work. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I am 2 blocks wrong. Okay, gonna chop that off. Now here we're out of line. Instead of making a curve or a silly little bit to join that up, what I can do is get down behind the machine and add, what do we need? Two blocks into the line. So what are we going to do? So now that we've chopped a block out of there, we need to add 3 blocks because I've deleted one as well. So the 2 that we need plus the 1 for a weld. And then we grab that one, put it the right way around because it's a corner. There we go. Now if we check, we've lined up and welded in nicely, so we're good to go. I'll add a corresponding leg. In my case, the reason that I'm coming down a little bit and then making my leg to the side is because it's got this underbar part of the configuration. Now the purpose for that is that weight at the bottom of the monorail means we can get up to some quite interesting maneuvers and mechanics of when we're moving around. So I'll just get the lift back up and I'll weld the drone back on. The idea is eventually is to make this fully automatic as the drones move around. So just quickly what I've done over in the packing station, super boring, no mucking around logic, just super simple. So we've got the mounted spud gun, it's got its ammo container, and the idea is you only need a press button for that. So what I've done is I've just got a sensor. The sensor has a button option on it. So basically when this sensor sees something, it's like pressing a button down, and then when it's clear again, it's like lifting the button up. And that behaves as a single shot through the cannon. So I'll get myself and I'll jump through the sensor and we'll watch that spud cannon go. You see, and so it goes. So we don't get any behaviour, any sucking action because there's no bales in the range of this machine. The bales have to be below the spout of the machine. So if you're coming in and trying to do monorails for yourself, you have to make sure you're down low enough that the bales are in front of the scoop. I've come down this height because it's easy to maintain the drone part of the setup. So yeah, so literally a sensor to the cannon and ammo. So with this full 5 lots of 50s, 250. So 250 bales can be processed by this machine. Only fires once, no logic, no timing, no pulses, because I have a single bale on my single drone. If you bring in multiple bales, you're going to have to fire for each bale and have a delay for the time it takes for one bale to be lifted off the machine. In this configuration, it doesn't matter. It's one bale comes in front of the machine, sensor goes, sucks it up, and it can suck it up for the entire time that it's sitting over that platform. So it doesn't matter on timing how long the suck takes, as long as the drone is on the target area for a nice length of time. So that's the other reason to have the loop how it is and make sure it's on the over the platform for the entire time. I'm not going to give you a quick ride, but we'll just test this upper section we've just made and the corner that we just demonstrated as well. So the corner itself is pretty smooth because of how we've done the geometry. And we've got to get past that funny leg tower, and we'll go up this bit of, I've just spotted there's got a wobbly bit that's way out of whack because it went to the side. That's why we were out a few blocks. But anyway, that worked alright. Yeah, so the reason why this is all jiggly pokery silliness is we're crossing the tile for the farmer. Generally this settles down really good. Now the reason to have the concrete, the tier 3 concrete, is to have a lot of weight when the drone is empty. So you can see there we're bubbling along, and it's starting to self-center and start to get it gets a bit of a sway on, but it's actually quite it's still running quite smooth. Goes past these like the legs, no problem at all. And we've got some breaks in the cables as rail as well. So here you can see we're back to absolutely smooth. So the roughness means when we're grabbing a bale down the bottom, you can see my machine comes in and grabs it, but it also raises up the tines so they're in the air like a slope. And what that does is it slides the bale right to the back of the carrier, and then that, because it's so far to the back, it makes the mass of the counterweight bigger, which is great, so it gives us more stability, and it holds it in there nicely. Now from a farm, from the grab it machine at the trader, it doesn't matter about whether a bale is fully boxed in, whether it's connected to something, whether it's not connected to something. It just sucks it straight off. So what I plan to do is have a sensor that's in the back of that carrier zone that's basically on. If there's a bale, switch on. If there's no bale, open. So that means I can just, from a logic point of view, there's no logic again. It's just on by the sensor and off by the sensor. So you can cut down the logic for yourself by using sensors in clever ways. So the other sensor that I'll be adding to the drone is I'll add a crash avoidance sensor. So at the front of the drone, I'll put a sensor on for detecting the one in front. But what I'll also use is I'll use that same sensor with a piston-driven block to get in front of the drone when I'm at the packing station. I haven't completed it all yet, but that will stop the drone, allow for a load, use the piston, retract the block. The sensor says there's nothing in the way, I'm good to go, and it will take off and do its loop. So the only other sensor on it, so I only need two sensors on the drone. One is stop, and the other is open the cage. So that makes it back to two controllers. So I need to adjust the controllers that I do have. I've actually got one that I've worked out I'm not using at all, which I thought I need to do a rotated carrier. The problem with the rotate and carrier is it puts the load off to the side of the machine and it makes it sway on the load. So that's not useful to us at all. So as we get into the packing station, again you can see those nice geometric curves. We've used that same process that I did at the start of the video to get the curve in nice. It gives us a nice rounded behaviour. The other thing about the monorail is try and keep it short. Don't build a long monorail. If you're going to do that, you need to have like a train has, where it's got two different bogies, one at the front, one at the back of a train. So this is using 4 pieces of suspension to allow the grab wheels to go. It's actually 3 wheels on top. I'll just get ready to stop here. So I don't have the auto stop running at the moment, but this is basically the format. So the bales come down into here. The sensor senses the bales. These pins go down, and it pushes it out to the carrier. Now these blocks here stop the weight, stop the bottom from crashing over to the side. So it's not on at the moment for some reason. Yeah, I haven't been testing on this side anymore for a while, so it's not running. I haven't got it set up properly. Oh no, it's disconnected because I relayed something. So over here, all this will do is I'll use a piston and put a blocker in front of the sensor to stop the drone. The drone will stop. The bale timer will run. Drop the bale. The carrier will sense that there's a bale there by just checking its, a sensor forward, and that says that it's on for the controller to do the load close. And then once the load is closed, the the timer for this, the piston will retract and allow the drone to go. And because we're going to have crash avoidance on the drones, they can all stack up behind each other all the way around, you know, no worries at all. If they take off and there's a loading issue where you're across tiles or whatever, they'll just wait until you get into that zone to get them to load the tiles. So that's the idea of using mini drones. Instead of trying to take 4 or 5 bales in one go, I'm going to try and have 4 or 5 drones running, and then the drones will be fully automatic because I've only got 2 functions on them. It makes it easier to mass produce as well. Yeah, so thanks for the video. I'll get my packing station up and running so you guys can get some demos of how it runs, and I'll get a few drones running. I am so lucky because right near me at the moment I have so much honeycomb available for making tyres. I'm going to need so many tyres, but there is so much honeycomb around, which is making this, you know, every time I run past, I can harvest one. There's some there. There's this beautiful 3 patch up in the middle of this one. Yeah, so I need lots of honeycomb to make lots of tyres. So it's like, yay. Yeah, so yeah, next video should have a couple of drones up, should have it fully automated, and we'll see how it goes. This was more about laying the monorail tracks and giving you an idea of how to get those nice smooth corners in. Yeah, and then also the monorail car being short means it can get around corners easier. It's got tier 3 concrete at the bottom, so it is very heavy, which from a counterweight point of view is what you need, because we need the drones to be stable when there's no bales. So that's what is sitting in here. So I've got a lot of tier 3 concrete, and I don't need to use tier 3 metal. So it was sort of, I was getting a bit overboard. I did actually manage to produce a massive amount of tier 3 metal, and then I realised I ran out of normal metal, so had to go on a mining spree again. Yeah, so next video we'll have the monorail running. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Yeah, see you on the next one.